So I woke up this morning and I was going to talk about my weekend, but I saw a message from Jav first thing, and he asked if I had seen the craziness that happened in Las Vegas. And I had seen a news report over the weekend talking about a couple of kids that were struck and killed by a car that jumped a curb in Las Vegas. And I asked, I saw that, and he said, no man, there was a mass shooting. So I just read the story, and it looks like somebody from the same hotel that I was just staying at, the Mandalay Bay, somebody went and shot up a concert from the hotel. And what's really crazy is a couple years ago, it wasn't this year that I saw the concert, but a couple years ago when I was attending my training seminars that I go to in Vegas every year, the concert was going on, and I remember thinking it was kind of cool because you could see the concert from the hotel. Basically, it's directly across the street, and you just overlook it. So in reading the story, the shooter was in one of the upper rooms. I think he would have been at basically the top room, 32nd floor, I think. I think the hotel's only 34 floors. And he must have been overlooking the hotel. And it appears that he went there specifically to do this. The reports that I read said that he had multiple firearms and he had 2 shooting rests set up. So this guy would have been shooting from a stable platform, not just standing and shooting, which would account for why there were so many deaths. I mean, he was able to just take specific aim and murder people. It's scary because you just think in this kind of situation, I'm a huge advocate for personal protection, but there's no way to protect yourself in a shooting like this. The guy's blocks away in an upper elevation room. There'd be no chance of returning fire or defending yourself in the typical fashion. The best thing you could do would be to run for cover and hide. But the hard part, just the initial moments of the attack, you're in the middle of a concert, so there's going to be a lot of sound. You're not going to hear those gunshots. They're coming from across the road, and you've got all the noise of the concert going on. They're going to be muffled, and you're not going to know anything's wrong until the panic breaks out. And it would just have been absolutely terrifying, because all of a sudden a sea of people would have been going, in multiple directions trying to get away from the carnage. It just would have been scary. I just can't imagine. I'm glad I wasn't there. I was there last weekend. I missed it by a week. Certainly glad it didn't happen while I was there. And of course, what is this all gonna mean? Well, this guy came to Las Vegas, or actually I think he's a local. I think he lives in Las Vegas. So they're gonna tighten up in the hotel, the security protocols and whatnot. It's an unprecedented attack. Never seen anything like it before. Well, I guess you could say we've seen something like it. There was the Texas, was it Texas A&M or University of Texas? I forget. A shooter that went up into a bell tower. Anyway, sad day, that's for sure. I mean, here you got thousands of people who are at a country music festival having a good time. It's the last day of the festival. Might have even been one of the last performances. I know it happened Saturday night or Sunday night, but just absolutely crazy. An absolutely horrible way to die. Breaks my heart a little bit, you know, just thinking about the moments you're having a great time and then boom, all hell breaks loose. But crazy people are gonna do crazy shit. It's a fucked up world we live in. And of course, people will say, well, guns are the problem. No, it's not guns are the problem. Crazy motherfuckers are the problem. We got a lot of crazy motherfuckers. Sad day. Sad, sad day. Oh boy. Hard freeze warning. Getting so cold, we're getting hard freeze warnings on the Garmin. I've seen the fire warnings, never seen the hard freeze warning yet. Oh boy, what a crappy day, man. Little birdies try to make my day better though, right? It's kind of like Cinderella. Oh. So I don't know if I'll post the video from this morning that I shot. When I woke up this morning, the news was just breaking about the Mandalay Bay shooting, and not a lot of details were out yet. And so some of the predictions that I had made have kind of come true. And not predictions necessarily, but some of my thoughts and observations on what may or may not have happened. You know, gosh, my back tire feels really low. It's really just a disgusting event that transpired. You know, the shooter is looking like just a homegrown terrorist, a guy that had no valid reason, not that there is ever a valid reason, but you know, just no clear motive from the first day. I mean, where we're at right now at 4:30 on August or October 2nd, the guy appears to be some elderly, you know, 64-year-old white guy from Nevada who purchased all the firearms legally. But as it stands right now, there really isn't a motive other than he wanted to cause carnage. And I gotta say, there are some real pieces of shit in this world. And that guy's definitely at the top right now for pieces of shit. You know, he's got countless number of lives and families that will forever be impacted because he was some asshole that felt he was so important in this world that he needed to leave a trail of carnage. You know, I'll just never quite understand the mentality of the mass shooter. You know, I'm not saying that jihadis are in some way, shape, or form justified, but I can at least understand that shit. You know, you've got religious beliefs, whatever. Somebody's perverted the teachings of a religion and they have you out there doing stuff that is just disgusting. But because you're enamored with a religion, it warps your view of reality. This lone gunman bullshit, that kind of stuff will never make sense to me. You know, in what way, shape, or form did any of the people who he decided to attack affect his life? None. No way whatsoever was any one of those people responsible for any hardships that guy may have had or gone through. You know, my real thought on it is this guy was probably trying to make some radicalist point. You know, my first instinct is to assume that this guy is some kind of a left-leaning, you know, want to make a point about how dangerous semi-automatic firearms can be. That's my first thought. I hope that's not the case. That this guy is just some liberal whack job out to prove a point. But he very well could be, and in my mind, that makes the most sense. What better way of proving your point than going out and doing exactly what you think can be done? It's a crazy, jacked up world we live in, guys and gals.